are live in umbraCoffee episode 272, and I'm joined today with the two amazing guys behind the uSkinned project and from uSkinned team, Marc and Paul. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, good. It's been a while. We tried to gather you here for a couple times, but it was always something. But finally, you've made it, and we are here. And we'll be definitely talking through all of the things you were doing in your product. But it's been a busy week for you guys this week, outside of the product work. How are you doing these days?
Yeah, a bit frazzled with all the work that we've done, but yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, it never seems to stop, which is a good thing. Can't complain. So
Is spring already on your end? Is the sun out there?
No.
We have a little bit of sun, which we discussed last week. That it helps. It helps to have more motivation and more accomplished during the day, because then there's the day after the day at work, and that's good always, right? But yeah, we've been talking off the record about some plans and logistics and upcoming events that are there requiring some more planning and time. And yeah, we are all getting busier these days because there's a big event ahead of us, of course, in the community. So yeah, we are all looking forward to it. So that's good. Callum is off today. He's a little bit sick, so we keep fingers that he will get back well as soon as possible, and he will join me from next week for sure. So yeah, let's talk about some Umbraco things from this week, and let's start from a small celebration because Script team celebrated birthday this release. And at the same time, it's not only a Script birthday, but it was also Janae's birthday. So happy birthday to both in this celebration, and of course keep it up and keep the Script releases coming. I saw on some tweets that some people are writing some of the new articles for Script, so I'm sure there will be a lot of more interesting topics coming out, and it's an 8th birthday of the Script. Guys, I don't know what about you, how long, and probably you're longer from in the community. Are you following the Script magazine and releases regularly?
Yeah, I think Script launched when it was our first code garden that we went to.
Okay.
It was about 8. Yeah, can't believe that was 8 years ago.
2015, I think it was the last one.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. So that's time flies, and we've been discussing it with Callum recently that we are doing it for a long time, but the things like Script, they were, from my perspective, they were always with us, and it seems like it was not always. It was like just 8 years ago, but yeah, it's amazing celebration, and of course I can personally talk about the commitment and dedication to put something like this regularly for 8 years, every month or every time period. So big kudos to Janae and all of the team members behind Script, because they are doing an amazing job and always promoting all of the interesting activities, and helps us also a lot with gathering the information from the community. So yeah, all the best for at least another 8 or more years in the community. If we can talk about emails for a while, there was also one thing this week, which was a little bit unfortunate, and it was because of Umbraco's migration of the email marketing platforms. I don't know, guys, if you received any emails about recertification from Umbraco.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a mistake in the system, so I wanted to just use this time and this platform for everyone who is watching us and maybe haven't seen the feedback from Umbraco. It was a mistake. Ignore the emails. It will be sorted out soon after the platform change. But interesting finding from this was that Umbraco is changing the training platform. So I as an ex-Umbraco trainer, I remember the old Umbraco version, which was used for managing certifications, trainings, and I think that this will be changed then. So it can be just a good, positive update and change of the platform for all of the trainings, materials, online participants, and stuff like that. So it looks like it's getting close to being launched soon. So yeah, we'll see. But to remind us and everyone else who received an email about their certification, just ignore them for now and expect the real email to come from Umbraco. So,
I see Ravi's asking what name I got. I didn't actually pay attention to the name.
Yeah, what was your name, Mark, then? Because the mistake was in the names format. So the first names were changed, the last names were. I can't remember Mark Goodson or someone that they were having a name that they really dreamed about. It was Dave. Dave said that from where Umbraco knew that he always wanted to be named Chris. So that was a funny thing. But of course, mistakes like this happens, and yeah, I think that's the important.
Email's the worst part of IT because once it's out, and that's it. You can't take it back.
Yeah, you cannot revert it, edit it, right? And also, at the same time, email is just one of the ancient connections that is very direct to us all, right? And even though we receive a lot of spam and unwanted emails, still, if it's the important email, we treat it seriously because it's a direct connection to us, right? And I think in this case, it was really good that community immediately reached out to Umbraco, says, "Is it you who sent this email?" So yeah. Cool. It will be sorted. Everything will be fine. And yeah, I think that was really nice to highlight this. But also there's one new blog post that came out just before we went live, and it's about the package team. And Marc, you are one of the package team members. So congrats in being selected. And yeah, maybe you can tell us more about your motivation to submit yourself to the package team then.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we've been developing a package for a long time now, and just wanted to get more involvement now. Obviously we've got the new marketplace, and I think there's a great opportunity to make the marketplace more accessible and to grow Umbraco as a whole to a wider audience. I think the old package directory was a bit clunky, not very professional looking, but the more professional the marketplace can become, I think that's a big selling point for new people coming into Umbraco, because as you know, it can be quite difficult to get up to speed with Umbraco. In the beginning, you need to have a lot of skills, both front end and back end, but having packages that can get you there, get you to a working website quicker is obviously going to grow the Umbraco market.
Yeah, so that's good. And I think right now we've scanned through the whole team, and there's a lot of great and known faces across the community, including Callum, Lottie, Carl, Mario, Richard, you, and Dennis as well, and all the stories and all the motivations of each participant of the team members are shared here in this blog post, which is amazing. And it's fresh. It was just released on the Umbraco blog, so please go there. And of course, I will include the link to the blog post here as well. But it seems like your first really serious job right now as a team is to help in being judges in the package competitions. So that's really nice. And as we've been talking previously on umbraCoffee, it was it's one of these challenges to which we are all always looking for, because it's a huge dose of inspiration, huge dose of accomplishment for all of the package creators, and it's a huge responsibility now in you guys to really vote. And as a package creator yourself, you also know how it's hard to be in the middle and be on the other side to be also voted for, right?
Yeah. But also, I don't think I can vote for myself now. So
it might be like in a Eurovision, I don't know, as we discussed before. But again, it's nothing wrong in being trusting to yourself, and 10 plus points for your own package. That's normal. I would do that for myself.
Yeah.
But congrats again, and congrats to all the team members. And yeah, we are just looking forward to the output of your work and the package team accomplishments. So that's really, really good. And let's go through some of the package updates then now, and then we can talk about your package for a little bit. This week, Umbraco announced 2 versions of Umbraco Workflow release candidates. It's 11.2 and 10.2. And Nathan wrote a blog post featuring everything what is new. And guys, question to you: have you used Umbraco Workflows or Plumber before in your project?
I've not. So can't comment on these packages. Yeah, I've never used them.
That's really interesting because I think I haven't used it production wise yet, but since it was acquired by Umbraco, I think I talk about it more and more often because it's a part of Umbraco now. It has a free tier as well, so it can be used. So a lot of interest is around it, but I'm still looking for a perfect use case. Just to be able to finally say, yeah, that's exactly for what Umbraco Workflow is made for. But it's an amazing package. It was already amazing before being acquired, of course, and Nathan is still continuing the improvements of it, approved threshold, workflows with workflows, so a lot of improvements inside of the functionality. And a lot of improvements around the functionalities which were already there, UI updates. Generally, it looks way better between every release. And now it's for us to test, and maybe for every other people who were already using it to just see if improvements are helping, if there is no other issues. And this is for what the release candidate is for. So please, if you use it, if you have used it, test it out and report back to Nathan and the team if you will spot anything maybe wrong or worth improving. So that's one of the big releases this week. Second is from Owen and Sean. They highlighted the work around the new package they were building. It's called Our Community Media Color Finder. And that's an interesting one because I've seen a lot of comments from people that there are potential use cases for it. So the package does functionality where you update the image in the media section. You can select a focal point, and then you have a colors map out of it. And by color map, I think there's a lot of insights for all the color lovers and all the design and creative people, because you have the average color map, the opposite color, the brightest color, text on color, and all this insight about the particular pixel that you select in the image. So yeah, I think it's really nice feature upgrade for media sections. So medias. Yeah. Did you guys work a lot with the media sections in your projects? Because I feel like still media section desire a lot of love and updates there, but it's getting better. So one of these features like this can help. Is there anything else what you feel like is interesting or missing from the media perspective on your side?
Oh.
No, it's perfect.
It could all, I mean, there's always improvements to be made everywhere, but I kind of think, I mean, we offer a lot of crop sizes that you can play about with out of the box, and then alt tags and stuff like that. But I think a wee bit more in-depth image editing, like maybe even, there was a package, I think, a couple of years ago, maybe by Paul Steele, I think, which was maybe changing the contrast in images and things like that. And I think that in the box would be quite cool.
Yeah. I think one thing that you've mentioned is something what I still need to suggest as a feature request. It's a media crops UI. So if you have let's say 20 crops size defined, the UI is getting a little bit hard to use if you have so many of them listed. But that's the only thing that I'm missing now. But also Sean, who is here with us today live, said that the package is W3C compliant, which is also really cool. So that's definitely a really nice and one of the most up-to-date packages that is here, and it's open source. Everyone can contribute to that. So yeah, there are already 2 issues reported here. So I'm sure it will be improved over the time. So yeah, kudos to Sean and Owen for doing this. Other package update this week, also from Nathan, and I like Nathan's updates on Twitter because he always refers back to the time amounts required to make some update. And it's been a couple of years since Nathan figured out how to update this nesting contently package. And I haven't used it, but I recently heard about use case for it, because it's for blogs and nested content items to allow and control the display of it. So you can toggle on or off the visibility of the block in the list items. So now Nathan also updated it for being used with the block, list, and grid. So now it's a much simplified, but still functionality is there to be able to control and hide and enable the blocks to be visible or not visible inside of the list item. So pretty cool use case. And yeah, that's being updated now. And 2 more. One is from Hoof, and it's called Umbraco RT style formats. And it's a really interesting one. I haven't used Umbraco 11 and 10 that much, so to be honest, but I do remember a need of having separated rich text, not rich text, CSS file to have the styles and formats being inside of the rich text editor. And now it seems we can control it from the JSON string in app settings, thanks to this package. So we can put the style formats in the JSON object like this, and it will be possible to be used inside of the rich text editor. So pretty cool, and one less file inside of the application to allow us to do so. So looks like interesting and probably useful for using the style formats inside of the Umbraco.
Yeah, definitely, because it's quite difficult to manage that yourself within app settings. It's very easy to make mistakes in the configuration of that. So definitely looks like a cool package.
But I don't know. I would need to really test it if this setting is possible by default, or it's still the requirement for the CSS file to be inside of the solution to be exposed in RT. I don't know if you know.
Maybe I think that if I'm getting what this does, it allows you to edit because out of the box, this is how you configure the RT editor now with the inside app settings. But am I getting it right that this is an editor for the JSON file?
Maybe. I need to play around with it. But if there's anyone who knows how it's done by default, that would be really good, because I do remember CSS file requirement back in the days, and now it might got improved. And yeah, whatever can get improved, it's always better for us to have it easier way to do that. So yeah, that's it. And last, which is not a package yet, but I know that Nick is working on something. So I don't want to push or motivate Nick to do it faster, but we are looking forward to this update. And Nick mentioned that he's having a new Umbraco package that is going to be released soon. So yeah, fingers crossed for Nick to release it, and definitely will highlight it on the next episode or next episodes somewhere in time, whenever it will be released. And now, guys, let's talk about uSkinned, because that's the package you of course said you've been behind and working on, and we've been highlighting a lot of the upgrades you've been doing recently. And yeah, it seems like you are really active inside of the development of the new changes, alignment with the new versions. Talk us through that, share whatever you can share, and let us know what's amazing and what's interesting being built so far in the recent days on your side.
Yeah, so you want to demo first, or will I just talk through?
Well, let's talk through just general updates and things like that since the last time we were in on Umbraco.
Yeah, so I think it was Umbraco 8 when we demoed to Callum.
Yes.
So obviously we're now on Umbraco 11. So that's been a challenge keeping up to date with Umbraco's releases, and it's a difficult one for us to maintain and release updates to each version of Umbraco. So what we've just decided to do is stick with the latest version of Umbraco, and that's where our latest updates will go. As a small team, it's quite hard to manage. It would be almost impossible to manage updates for each individual version of Umbraco that is still being actively developed. So that was our decision to stick with the latest versions. So at the moment, we're now on Umbraco 11, and all our new features are going into version 4 of uSkinned Site Builder. So the way the releases have worked, Umbraco 8 was V1 Site Builder, Umbraco 9 was V2 Site Builder. So we're now on Umbraco 11 and V4 Site Builder. So there's been a lot of updates in our last. It took us a while to get this one out. This was quite a big one for us. We're having a better integrated e-commerce solution, and what had to go hand in hand with that was customizable list filters. So what we'll do is demo some of that, and Paul's going to kind of take you through use cases of where like the listings would get used on a real world site, and we'll also take you through like the snip cart integration that we've done.
Also, we need to update the feature index as well. It still says snip cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I do remember discussion about the e-commerce integrations, and I think this is again after the vendor being acquired by Umbraco, it's become a hot topic that Umbraco will have the commerce platform inside of the ecosystem. But of course, you were also doing a lot of work around that, and I personally was really happy seeing Gumroad on the list of your partners, because I use Gumroad for my ebook sales, and I truly like the platforms like this when you can just put the product, let the sales go through it, and then you can just use the content around that. And I would really love to use it. But you had a lot of ambition on integrating platforms like Vendor, for example, Shopify, and newcomers as well. So it's you are really keeping it up to date, and there is plenty of work, I believe, around all of these platforms, because they are all different, right? So
I mean, every platform's for different use cases, like yourself saying Gumroad for your book sales. So it's ideal for one-off products and donations and things like that. So that's why we've tried to kind of, uSkinned is used by such a wide variety of users that we've tried to like cover all bases. So we're a more integrated version of e-commerce with Equid and Snipcart, and hopefully more coming soon as well. But then we'll get guides to help people really quickly add Gumroad, add PayPal, iButtons, Foxycart, just a whole wider solution, variety of solutions, and Shopify as well.
Yep. So that's cool. Yeah. So you have a demo, Paul, right? So we can probably show more about it, because again, you have a demo site as well. There are a lot of themes that I showed in the meantime, but also show us the most recent stuff now, and we can probably all see, if anyone haven't seen it, see it in action, basically, right?
Yeah, cool. So since the last time we were on umbraCoffee, we were obviously version 1 of uSkinned. We're now on 4.11. And there's been a few updates to this dashboard. We've recently introduced quick create options. So you can quickly create multi-site solutions. So that's what we've got here. We've got a multiple site solution, and I've just done that using the quick create option. And then we've got some quick create options for a variety of features, including just your standard page, but also a full blog section, which will also generate category folders in the same way that the shop would do that, and the listing features as well. But I'll run through.
So just the idea of having the quick create there is like if Paul right clicks on the home page to add a new page, you'll see. So if you just go to add a new page, Paul, create. So you'll see that you can only actually add a page type there. And the reason we do the quick create is we don't want to overwhelm editors with too many options. So like options that wouldn't normally be like a common task, like creating a blog, a shop, a listing, search pages, sitemap, robots, txt files, things that that might only get created once. We have that in the quick create section, and then that's why you can only create pages when you're actually in the content tree of Umbraco. It's just to make it more like the interface cleaner for editors and not overwhelm them with too many options that they don't understand why they've got those options in the first place.
Yeah, so
I think it's really nice, because one thing that I saw in the multiple implementations was that a shortcut from here to do the most common action by editors as well. So that might be another kind of idea of having the customizable shortcuts. Like, for example, if the editors always logs in to create a news item, right? Just go there without searching the tree and just clicking through. But that's really handy.
Yeah.
So outside quick create on dashboard, one of the other big kind of changes since we last were on is we've reworked the block editor. So we've still got stacked kind of content style block editor, but we've styled it up to give you a little bit more information about it. So you can rename components. So at the minute, you're aware what component you're on, how many items are within that component. So if I look in, I've got one item, so I get that sort of information. And we just do that throughout, so you can start to see these sort of icons as well. So that's just one of the other kind of major changes that has happened throughout since version 1 through to version 4. I can't remember when we introduced that, maybe early stage of version 1. I Again, the global section has been restyled as well. Again, just trying to create a much friendlier product, much more familiar as well to users. Reuse of these sort of icon style, but a different colour scheme, just to know that you're in a different section and you're not editing content. Just trying to think what else is in there. It's changed majorly. So we've always had global content, but a new piece of global content that we have is model content, where you can set options for when a model component will open, or as you scroll down a page, it can be a percentage of the scroll, or it can be on a timed event, and you can create a cookie that will choose to hide that, when you should hide that model as well. So it could be 14 days, and then the person would see it again 14 days time.
So basically, any block content types that you can add to the block editor, you can create model windows for them, and as Paul said, they can be timed, or they can be activated from links anywhere on the site. Just gives that a nice wee feature for model windows.
Yeah, very nice marketing feature, which is often implemented from scratch, right, in multiple solutions. So yeah. And is this model window associated to the whole site, or is associated with the specific pages?
Well, when you in here, that's for the global element, so it's for the full site, but you can actually set it on a page-by-page basis as well. Okay. So that's something that's held within extra content, so you can actually override these global elements and then set up one. So if you've got a promotion on a landing page that is for a certain subject, then you can add model boxes to that specific page as well. And there's just another couple of wee additions as well, is around forms. We've got a few more capture options as well. We've got Turnstile by Cloudflare, and then page capture as well. So really easy out of the box solutions for people. You just have to enter your provided API keys. And just another kind of quick one is around colours. So one of the feedback we've been getting off from a number of users is we didn't have this set up your colour palette section before when you were setting up colours. So it meant that when you were adding new colours, you would just be having to use the colour wheel. But now you can set a range of default colours that you can quickly choose from. And that's just a really nice, quick way to add new colours, a new colour bank so that you can access add new colours. So that was just off users who are creating multiple websites and finding that little bit just a little bit easier as well now. And that's for myself as well. When we create websites for clients, that has been a massive improvement. As simple as it is an improvement, it's a really, really useful one. Something else we always had, like you could choose system fonts and Google fonts. You can now choose Adobe fonts. So if you have an Adobe font account, you can enter your ID, font family, and you can assign Adobe fonts as well now. So that's really increased the amount of fonts you can use out the box before adding custom fonts to, I think there's maybe 20,000 Adobe fonts, 1,500 Google fonts. So you're pretty well covered for fonts.
Probably enough fonts to choose from.
Something else I was going to share. Can you see the front end? I was going to change my share as well.
Yes, so, let's share the screen then. But it's definitely looking way clearer, better, and just it's hard to say friendly, but it's like a really nice design way of.
The wrong
the wrong one again. No worries. And you said that you are building the site with it also, so you probably also receive a lot of feedback, and you are the source of your own feedback. What is making the user life?
The shop, we were quite lucky that we had 2 clients that were, well, I mean that tends to be why we take on clients. If we think that there's features that will be helpful to go into uSkinned, it's a good way of us using our time to build up a client's website, work out how the functionality will work before it actually goes into the final product. So with the shop, we had 2 clients that required e-commerce, so it gave us the opportunity to thoroughly test the shop in a real world scenario before actually integrating it into uSkinned.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're just kind of clicking through some of the features within the shop. So I'll also show another kind of major element that we introduced in version 2, I think, was massive improvements to accessibility. So we now meet WCAG 2.1 in all cases on the site, but in some areas we meet WCAG 3. So a quick one you can easily use to demo that is being able to tab through the website, quickly skip to content. You never get lost into navigations or search fields. It's just like, it's a really nice way for users, and it's good to know that they can click through the websites without any issues.
That's
access.
Nice, and I know how much effort it costs to build all of it and to support all of it. So it's a lot of time invested in that.
One of our clients based in Canada, their customers are government agencies, so they do a lot of local council websites, right up to like the larger kind of government websites. So they did a full audit on uSkinned, and I think it might have been back in version 1, where they had obviously using your accessibility testing tools, but they actually had real people doing accessibility tests against the site, and gave us a massive document with improvements to make, and we managed to integrate everything based on that. And that was good for us because it was something that we wouldn't have been able to do ourselves based on the amount of information and testing that they did on it. It would have been really difficult for us to do that ourselves, just cost-wise. So that was a useful one.
For the most part, it was a lot of easy wins as well for us, because it was really like simple things. Just getting the correct formatting for different area labels within the code itself, and adding correct roles to different elements, whether that's an alert box that will disappear. You need to be aware that within a screen reader, you have to alert a user that will happen. So it's just little things like that were just like priceless for us when we were given this report. It's been great for us to add that into uSkinned, because it's just made it far more accessible to such a wide variety of users.
But even though if it's we all know that if it's a set of small improvements, you need to first of all know about them, then find time to execute them, and then also constantly measure and improve them over the time, because it's not like you're constantly working on the new features, right? So now if you have this accessibility in mind as well, all the new features will already gain from your previous experiences. So it should be in theory a lot easier in the future improvements, but I appreciate and it's an amazing set of work already placed into making that compliant. So that's impressive.
Yeah, so one of the other big features outside of the shop is something that's quite similar to the shop. It's a new thing we're calling interactive filterable listings, and it's the same sort of features. You can categorize different content and filter it, and it's just we're trying to create new demos for the website which are a bit more sector focused. So this one's about for a job website, so you can start to see the sort of familiarity of different job websites would have. And I've got also another kind of quick demo of a property site. Again, it's the same sort of functionality again, but it just shows you how flexible that functionality is. You can create a job website, you can create a shop, you can create a property website as well. And again, it's just standard pages with modular components added to them. So it's the same way we structure content and always have structured content within the CMS, but with this great interactivity for users in the front end out of the box, because that's a lot of stuff that you would find a lot of developers will rebuild in time and time again. So why not have the base level that we've got in it?
Yeah, so the listing, the configuration of that, what we decided to do was a single, basically if you jump into the back office, Paul, just to show like where that's configured.
Sorry.
So list filtering can get quite complex, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to create new filters. So the options are that you can create single level filters with the option of creating checkbox radio buttons or drop down. So we thought that was like the minimal viable working product that we could create. We looked at the way Shopify filters worked, and they seem to do this single level hierarchy of shop filters. So this could evolve over time. This is obviously V1 of how the shop filtering works and list filters, but we imagine that this will change over time and get more complex as we get more feedback and how people are actually using it. But at the moment, it seems to be doing the job for a number of use cases.
Very nice and very flexible solution. And as you showed it right now, Paul, right? Adding new filter, for example, to a pages, it's like just a matter of configuration and clicks. And I do really also like the Shopify way of filtering stuff, and I've played with it too. And it's exactly how I also personally built a couple of these solutions, with the filters being reusable from the other point of views or reusable across the website. And it seems like exactly here it's definitely used like that. And the pickers of the filter, that's the huge power in case of configuration. That looks great.
So, and the shop just kind of works the same way. So we built the listing element to it first, and then we added the shop features into that. So the major difference is from a normal page that you would find for About, where it starts with content. But under a listing or a shop, you have this additional tab, which is settings. For a product, that's a little bit more involved. So you can have an SKU for your products, which is unique to every product. You can have current pricing and previous pricing. Your filters, you can have unlimited number of filters. Product description, you can add labels. Just if it's a sale item or it's a limited edition item, it would highlight that on the front end to users. One of the other great features actually makes it really flexible is if you've got a product that is in your shop but you don't sell directly, you can change it to an alternative URL, in which case you could actually link away to an external website who do sell that. So not every shop provides all their own catalogue. Some of it's fulfilled by third parties or even affiliate people that run affiliate websites. It's really useful for that. The full feature of filtering that a shop would have, but you can link off and sell the product externally.
So before you jump down to the next bit, Paul, just if you scroll up again, just to explain the top fields here. These are the standard fields that we see for any shop, no matter what actual e-commerce plugin you're using behind the scenes. But if you scroll back down to the snip cart bit, based on this part is a custom property editor that we've created that basically when you're in the global settings and you're setting up your shop and deciding what e-commerce platform you're going to use, that will determine what fields are displayed here. So this is the kind of pluggable part. So we basically see that if we integrate like another e-commerce platform, if say like just for instance it was vendor. So if you select vendor as going to be your main e-commerce platform, the fields on this would change to relate to the actual vendor product rather than the snip cart product. So Paul's just jumping into global settings here. So this is where you would actually decide what shop you're going to use. So as you see, we've only got the two options there, which are the integrated ones. So there might be a third option there, which is vendor. And then that would decide what property editor is used on the products. And then in turn decides what fields are specific for that type of e-commerce platform.
And when you edit these fields, are you edit them in the copied data imported to the product here, or you edit it directly on the integration platform? So if you have a snip cart here, do you deal with the properties from there, or you have a copy for the presentation purposes only?
Okay, so the idea of this is that you manage all your product information in Umbraco. The way Snipcart works is as soon as you've added a product to your website, Snipcart will pick that product up, and then it will import everything into Snipcart. So you don't actually need to do anything. You only enter it once, and then it will appear in Snipcart. And we're hoping that that's going to be the same idea with vendor going forward, that they'll choose this kind of more headless approach, where the checkout process is managed by the e-commerce provider, but the products are managed by you. You manage the design of the product pages and the actual.
So the Umbraco products here are becoming a source of the product data. In this case, for the shop, and shop is just the e-commerce process is delegated to the e-commerce platform. Then.
Yeah, so we see like that. This is why we like Snipcart so much, because it's very easy. Like if say tomorrow you decided you didn't want to use Snipcart anymore, you've still got all your product information in Umbraco, and then you just change the vendor. Say you're not having to re-enter all your products again. All you're using like the e-commerce platform for is the kind of checkout process, which is the complicated part and the bit that needs to be secure.
Yeah, so they would handle the checkout and then the order fulfillment. So it's like you create your products in your catalog with all the options to do with shipping and everything within the CMS, and then you handle order fulfillment and invoicing. And that's again how it could work well with a vendor, because obviously vendor separate that element out. They separate out the order fulfillment and invoicing into its own main section within the Umbraco navigation called Commerce. So that's obviously where you would handle that if we were to integrate vendor, or somebody was to extend what we've provided in integrated vendor themselves.
Yeah. Makes sense, and I think I'm still pretty new in the e-commerce landscape. So I'm trying to understand where are the benefits of both, but still, I do like the fact that the CMS is for really content management, not for the complicated processes of commerce, which is really handy. And yeah, I'm just curious. For example, with the Shopify in this case, is Shopify also consuming the content of the products data from here, or you have the duplication data on Shopify then?
So Shopify, we've actually done a Shopify integration. Well, it's not as integrated as this. With Shopify, you're managing the products inside Shopify. So, Paul, do you want to bring up the?
Yeah, so this is a customer of ours. It's actually managed by another agency, but I'll share.
Yeah, because that's probably the other way around, right? So with the products, because the products are there, and then you just enhance them with some content from the content management system.
So the idea around this approach is more using the embed codes that you get from Shopify.
So they still manage their catalog and their order fulfillment and their quantity levels within Shopify, but they've got these options on the website now through the small guides that we've created, just using little embed codes. And you can do the full checkout process, and it just lives on the site. So that cart will always stay with me no matter where I go on the site. So it's just that's why it's always been different use cases for different users. So that's really suited them because they already had a massive product range held in Shopify.
Yeah, but in this scenario, basically you've got the main shop listing, which is an embed code that generates that shop listing, which is that page that Paul's shown just now. But you can also use Umbraco to create nicely styled product pages. So if Paul jumps away to the beers, that's a product page in Umbraco with an embed code for the add to cart button, which means that you've still got the ability to create these really nice pages, which you wouldn't normally be able to do on the Shopify platform if you were just using Shopify. It gives you that content management ability to create nice pages and then use the e-commerce platform to do the checkout part.
So it's like a relation between the content page and the product in the platform, but that's exactly how we did it also in some of the custom solutions. But it seems like it's just more tailored, not tailored, but more structured, right? In this case, because it has a real use case with this embedded code. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, is there anything else that, of course, there is a lot that you have done, and as some of the people already noticed, it looks incredibly great, and that's definitely a plenty of small bits that got improved over the time. So shop, e-commerce, these functionalities, of course, block list integration, great UI, great property editors, and improved configuration around the global elements in shop.
So
Anything else that you want to show or?
just a few other kind of global elements to the shop nodes
Mhm.
that you can choose. So you can obviously choose the range of sort options. At the minute, the featured option is the default setting, but you can obviously turn that off. If I save and publish now and share this tab, you'll see the feature is no longer there and it just says low to high. So you can manage all this sort of thing quite easily. The wording of that is all managed within translation. Inside Umbraco, you can manage the amount of items per page, whether it has free text search or not. You can choose the crop for the image, the amount of items per row, the layout. It's just all the other options that you've always had in uSkinned, but realised in a shop format.
And technically speaking, guys, how did you find the migration from V8 and old .NET framework to the new .NET Core? Did you enjoy the migration? Do you use and
I don't know if we ever enjoy them. It's been pretty. I mean, since Umbraco 8, it's been pretty painless to move between each version. Obviously, moving from 7 to 8, that was completely different. But yes, since Umbraco 8, and then even going to 8 to 9 with .NET Core, it's not been too difficult. And now the new releases coming out so quickly, 9, 10, 11. The one that we're probably that is a bit of a concern is the web components update with 13. That's going to be a big job.
Yeah, that was my next question. How are you already thinking about version 13, right? Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, definitely, because we obviously need to. But I think that's going to take a lot of work to
And did you
rebuild.
did you already test this back office repository and the version that is currently released from
Yeah.
Umbraco?
So I've been playing about a bit with it and just trying to get to grips with building new property editors using their UI library for web components, and getting there. The difficult part is deciding how to do like the kind of JavaScript side of things, and do you bring in your own library to do it, or do you? Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's under the same boat, and I think Matt's now got a bit of help with being part of the Umbraco core team now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You can
But yeah,
help.
I think probably all of us will either love it or hate it or adapt to it, because it's a huge change of ways. And I heard a lot of feedback from already front-end team members that we need to get familiar to it, right? It looks like
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything new. It's always like, because you've got to learn. It's another thing to learn. But yeah,
But the question about the .NET Core was mainly around from my backend heart and backstage. It's like performance wise, transition wise, and I think right now there's a lot of also of libraries, code possibilities, and C# functionalities that can make it all easier. And I hope that I'm sure, because I'm sure you already improve with every possible release, and it works smoothly. It works amazingly fast as well. So I believe that you take the advantage of the new platforms as much as you can, but also at the same time you stay close to Umbraco, and it looks like a native part of the Umbraco as well. So that's really great.
Just thought
there's
just a few more features on this that should highlight. Just around related content, so you can obviously pull in the information from any product and link to it from any part of the website, using related content pickers. So if this is on the front end, I'll share this tab instead. So I've highlighted some of the sale items, and that's why. So you can pick them individually and you can link to them anywhere in the site on a blog post. Also, on each individual product, you can, or any other page again, you can use sub-page listing, and you can link direct to categories. So at the minute, I'm linking direct to shoes. So if I'm on a shoe product, at the bottom of each of those, I've added a sub-page listing that will link to all the products that are tagged as shoe. And you can do that with any other tag. So it's just that sort of flexibility I thought I should highlight. It just before we
and it by default extracts the page on which we are in currently, right? So it highlights only the other items from this listing, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, again, one of the functionalities that's often implemented in multiple websites, right? So something what is you've enabled it to be configured, which is exactly for what the whole package is made for. And I think I always remember that there is so many powerful options for editors and for people to use it. And I'm also glad to hear that you try to make it simpler with every possible release to avoid this overwhelming set of possibilities, because it's also something what might not help, but make the journey harder for editors. So yeah, it looks amazing, and I'm really looking forward to all the next upgrades, and I hope and we'll keep fingers crossed that version 13 won't be that painful to migrate to. And again, you are more than welcome to come here and join us after the version 13 migration to show us how you dealt with the changes to web component and what was the lessons learned from the process there. So.
I should also say, if anyone wants to try out these new features, they can sign up for a trial that's hosted by us at trial.uSkinned.net, and it will fire up the website with all these features straight away.
Yeah, definitely. For all of the people who are watching us today or will watch it on YouTube, if you haven't played around and you want to get your hands on, just try it and test it. And I think also search for use cases. I constantly do it, and I think there's plenty of customers, smaller or bigger projects where it could save a lot of time to just build it that way. And of course, all the information about the product are on your website with all the themes, all the functions. And you said that you need to update the feature list, but of course, all of the other features and the most recently updated list of features is also here. So everyone take a look. I will make sure that the links to the site and of course the demos and everything else will be in the description of this video. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for this update and demo. And as I said, whenever version 13 will come out, you already have an invitation open. Join us and share the success story or struggle story of migration there. And yeah, fingers crossed for the package competitions, and also of course everything else will be highlighted around the code garden now. So yeah, that's all. Anything else, Paul or Mark? Do you want to add to uSkinned part?
Not in the current functionality. Just really, we've got a few features we're working on, just around the filtering, just for better management in the front end to quickly reset filters and things like that. And then bringing these sector demos. So hopefully we'll have them up next week for people, and it's just give a better idea of what's available. At the minute, our demos are quite straightforward.
One question then. I was going to ask you about the roadmap or plans, but is there any way how people can suggest any features or feature requests to your platform?
Yeah, I mean, we probably should have a page that's a kind of feature request page on the website, but yeah, if you just reach out to us via the contact page, that's generally how people submit feature requests at the moment.
Yeah, because I think I hope really that our community will bombard you with some ideas for future upgrades. Because whenever someone gives it a go and then something is missing, and then 10 other people will say that exactly this is missing, that's probably a good motivation and information for you that maybe let's work on it, right? So
definitely, love getting feedback. It's what's grown the product and made it better to this day.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, definitely. I will also link up the link to the contact page then, if in case of anyone will have some further questions or would like to know more about your features or plans, definitely do that then. There is a question from Ravi. Will you be in Denmark for Code Garden 23? And we discussed it at the beginning. we will see.
Yeah,
So let's see.
Yeah, well,
That's cool.
as we were saying to Marcin, it's a tough one this year because we're so busy, and it basically takes both of us out of the office at the same time, which is hard to manage. If it's holidays, then we usually take turns about, but because it's Code Garden, we would both want to be there, and it's hard as both being out of the office at the same time. But we're not saying no because we just haven't booked anything yet.
It's going to be a last-minute decision, I think.
Yeah,
last-minute visit. But hopefully, at least one of you or two of you or whoever else will manage it, and we'll be able to see each other. But if not, there is plenty of other events, and we've been discussing it also before, that there are opportunities all over now, and there's more meetups, more festivals and conferences being announced. So sooner or later, we hope to see each other. And let's talk about these events now and wrap up slowly. So we have 2 meetups next week that I wanted to highlight. One is in Umbraco Leads meetup group, and Rob Newman will be talking there about Azure durable functions. So it's happening on May 4th. And at the same day, there's Umbraco Kent meetup as well, organized by Mike and the community in Kent. And here there will be Ravi, who will be joining online to talk about how you choose which technology for your project. And there will be Laura talking about new Umbraco back office version 13. Might be interesting topic for people who are not that yet familiar with V13 updates. Other than that, there's of course Code Garden, which we talked about, and I noticed one thing this week. Arnold is visiting other bingos around the globe, so probably searching for some inspirations. I don't know, but he said that they have no idea what crazy bingo really means. So possibly no inspirations for Umbraco bingo, but maybe. So that's happening. And one more event, which we already talked about, is Umbraco accessibility and general accessibility in overall. Umbrad event, which is happening on 18th May, has an agenda and sessions listed now. And as we can see, also Ravi will be talking here, and a couple other people which we might know or might not know from the community and not only. And the full schedule is also published here. So yeah, there was a call for proposals. Now we have the full agenda of the event, and it's a free event. Everyone can subscribe and register to attend, and I heavily invite everyone to do so, because we all see and we all understand the meaning of this topic amongst the development and also usability of the systems. So that's about events, and a couple of small things at the end, a couple of the community status updates and gatherings from Twitter. Umbraco Bell and Umbraco Drum adventure is continuing, and Nurhak shared that it landed in the Great State Agency now, and there was a lot of stories behind the scenes. We saw the picture of original delivery by Jonathan to Lee. So that landed, and the story continues. So maybe it will reach out someone else in the near future. Something what you guys showed about the thumbnails for a block list. Marc Drake also shared some of his previews, and I always admire. I love how some of these thumbnails, some of these preview images helps editors to decide which content to use. And this also looks really cool. So I really wanted to highlight Marc for this work, and I still feel like a lot of projects will gain a lot of usability if they will have some maybe shared library of components or previous items.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, but yeah, it looks really good. One more thing from Owen as well. I don't know if you guys seen his Lego posters, but this one is really impressive, and I don't know if many people has posters with Umbraco related Lego constructions. So that's really nice. And Scripts, umbraCoffee, Code Cabin and Spark and all the others 24 days. Yeah, really nice poster. So kudos Owen for building it. And one more thing that bring my attention this week was a video from Terence. And also, I will ask you guys about it. I don't know if you dealt with a lot of migrations from Umbraco 7 or 8 to 9, besides, of course, uSkinned migration. But using migrations beta is a package built, of course, by Kevin, with contributions from Lee and a couple other people were involved. And Terence recorded a video how he used this package to move nested content to block list. And it looks so easy. It works.
Cool.
That's crazy. And I do really love that. So thanks to Terence for showing how it works, because I haven't seen it in action yet. I checked how it works, but it looks like it just does the job, and it's really nice to see it working. Yeah, so that's all. And one more information for all the people who are planning or doing a lot of activities inside of the community. Umbraco MVP program is closing submissions on May 1st. So it's Monday for plenty of people. It's a bank holiday or the day off. So it's not that much time for everyone who haven't submitted yet. And there's a new program and system from Umbraco that requires potential MVPs to have a profiles there. So if anyone here is watching, is doing some things to promote Umbraco and his or her activities to community, please do submit your profile and activities to let Umbraco and other MVPs select and decide who is going to be awarded with the MVP for 2023. And yeah, that's all the news that I had prepared for today. So anything else, guys, to add from your side? What are your plans? Do you have a bank holiday on Monday?
Monday, yeah, we've got one.
Well, we off.
Good to know, right? Good to know.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We need to give each other permission.
You can have the day off. I'll give you.
Oh, thanks.
and likewise.
No, he needs to work.
Okay. Sorry, Paul. Then, but thank you guys for joining me today, and thanks for a great demo. Again, kudos for all your hard work and everything which you've put to make uSkinned looks that great already, and looking forward for future updates. We are always more than welcome to join us and inspire everyone with everything which you have done. And yeah, hope to see you sooner or later on any of the events. Fingers crossed for logistics and everything and business around everything which you do. And yeah, that's all. Enjoy the long weekend. Marc, enjoy the work on Monday, Paul. And thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having us, Marcin. Hopefully see you in person at some point soon.
Indeed. And thanks everyone for watching. As usual, like, subscribe, and share this video, please, with anyone who might be interested in the uSkinned, the platform, the demo, and everything what we've been discussing today. And yeah, do enjoy the long weekend for those who have it. And yeah, see you on the next umbraCoffee next Friday.
Cheers.
Thank you.